Hello and welcome to another drawing and yap sesh. Well, drawing-ish. It's like acrylic markers and finishing pieces. You know if you've watched the two other videos I've posted, you know. I'm trying to decide right now which one I want to do because I have this cute eyeball creature or I have this fish creature. I'm kind of leaning on the fish creature. I think that's the one I'm going to go with because I love him. So the topic that I've chosen for today is very near and dear to me. Um, I would like to posit the question: is fast food specifically the worst job to work? Now, give me a second to elaborate on this. I'm getting all my supplies ready. Don't mind my hand. It's from my cat. He's a little rambunctious sometimes. Okay. So, is is it the worst job? The answer is just blatantly yes. Like I haven't worked every job in existence, but between management and customers and that's the wrong orange. Hold on. And just like all of it combined and like coworkers sometimes too can make it sometimes the worst job. Um from experience, I would say yes. And I have like 10 plus years of working in specifically customer service in fast food. Today, I don't know if this is going to have many parts to it. It might, because as I was thinking about doing this topic, I was like, dang, I could spend a whole session yapping about customers and some of their ridiculousnesses that have happened that I've been a part of. And I could also spend a whole session just talking about how coworkers can make it really just unbearable sometimes. I think I'm going to start with the customers because that's where I feel most confident. Like, sometimes they're just the worst. And this isn't saying that every customer is the worst, because if every customer was the worst, I don't think I'd be in customer service. But sometimes they are just not great. And I feel like specifically in fast food, they are hangry when they get there. So they're like kind of angry while ordering their food, and they just like you ask them a simple question if they want it like small, medium, or large, and they're like, large, of course. Like, relax, calm down. I cannot read minds. I wish I could because it would make that job so much easier. But it's also like it's not a huge end of the world deal because I also am a person who like shops and consumes product from fast food places. And never once have I ever gone to a place that has like customer service workers and have just been outrageously mean to them for no reason. That's just that's just not how I do things. Um Starting off with some of the crazy questions I've been asked because I've worked in a lot of places that have served coffee. Obviously, I'm not going to use like actual names or anything. Um but let's just, you know, say a coffee house, a place that serves primarily coffee is one of the big ones that have just like the questions have been kind of crazy. I literally one time got asked if coffee has caffeine in it, and I, I don't always know how to respond to people when they ask things like that. And on the same vein, we have drinks that also have caffeine in them, but like they're not coffee based, but they're more like green teas and stuff like that, where it's like it has caffeine technically, and I have to tell you that it has caffeine. And people are like, well, couldn't you just take the caffeine out? And I'm like, I'm not a scientist. Like, I don't have a chemistry set where I can just take caffeine out of things. I wish I did. That'd be kind of cool. Or if we had like decaf green tea. I don't even know if that's a thing. Decaf green tea. Um, I have gotten questions that have just been like, I don't really know or understand what the question is, because they'll be like, what's in a bacon, egg, and cheese? And I'll be like, what? What? Like bacon, egg, and cheese. You just said it. And they're like, yeah, but what is it? I'm like, a sandwich? Like, I feel like sometimes they're trying to trick me. Like, they ask me trick questions just to see if I'm paying attention or I'm awake. And, like, a lot of the times I'm not. Because, like, cause I've worked every shift. I've worked mornings, I've worked afternoons, I've worked nights, and I've worked overnights. And it never changes how I, like, wake up in the mornings slash my mornings. I will wake up like a half hour to an hour before I'm supposed to be at my job around then. And I will go to my job having just woken up, and people will ask me questions, and I'm just like, I I don't know. Okay, I'm just trying to get through my day. Um I have some more kind of like crazy tales of customers, cuz like this is kind of the customer, and it's also kind of like coworkers doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and like that causes problems for us, because it's like, I don't know what you want if someone else has made you a drink that doesn't exist on our menu. And they'll be like, but you made it for me. I'm like, I didn't make it for you. I don't know what you're talking about. Not all of us are the same worker. And I did have a person come in and they tried to like yell at me that I made it for them. And I was like, I literally just clocked in like 20 minutes ago. I couldn't have made it for you. Please. Please, it's only 20 minutes into my shift. don't I don't need this. But so I feel like that is like the customer base kind of makes it or breaks it. And I will say that the place I'm working in right now, not all the customers are audacious, just some of them. It mostly boils down to like management and coworkers at this point not being able to like handle the job, and only being short staffed as well is kind of crazy. Um cuz like obviously there's a drive through, there's a front counter, and there's only two workers. And it's like drive throughs wrapped, counter has a line. And like everybody needs to take a chill pill and use your eyes and common sense and see that there's only two people, and be like, ah, they're not being rude specifically to me and not giving me my product that I want. They're just understaffed. That shiny is, that's a little, let's try and make that one better. Whoop, whoop. I might have to fix that in a second once those colors dry. Um, thoughts. So, I will, if you guys want, I will make this like a two-part. Let me whisper that into the ether. I'll make this a two-parter if people want, of like other customer encounters, I guess. crazy customer encounters, but I might need to write them down because like it's hard to think of them right off the fly, but like in my mind I'm like I've heard so many crazy things from customers. Like literally last week we had a customer. It was me and my shift leader working, and this customer comes in and I ring him up on front counter and, and my shift leader gives him the drink that he wants and he walks off. And that should be the end of the encounter. But he then stands at the pickup counter for like 5 minutes until my shift leader goes over and is like, "Hey, do you need something?" Like very nice, very polite. Maybe he needs like sugar or cream because he got a coffee. Um, Maybe he's just like he needs to ask a question. Who knows? And he responds with, "How long does it take to make a small hot coffee?" And I hear this and I look at my shift leader and she doesn't look at me, but I look at her and she just looks so flabbergasted. Like, what does he mean? We literally handed it. She literally handed it to him, and she says that, and he looks her in the face and goes, "Well, where is it?" Like, sir, once it leaves our hands, it is no longer our responsibility on where it goes. Like, you could literally throw it in the trash. You bought it, you can do whatever you want with it. And I'm like standing off to the side and I'm trying real hard not to laugh because I feel like if I laugh, it'll be loud and then he'll get mad because that's how customers are sometimes. Like they perceive it as you laughing at them, which I would be. I would be laughing at him because the audacity. But yeah, that's what I mean with like customer audacity. Like, bro, go get yourself some help. Go think about it. Go back to the table you were sitting at because I'm pretty sure that's where he left it. What do you mean? How long does it take? And then for the rest of the night, that was the ongoing joke because obviously, like, you can't do anything about that. Like, I mean, you can tell them that you literally gave them the drink, which is what she did, but like, it's not like you can get mad at the customer for being audacious. My favorite thing is when they come in and I have to tell them that we don't have a certain thing, and they're like, "Well, why not?" I'm like, I couldn't tell you. Like I can tell you the truthful answer is that we're not a magical facility that if I walk to the back, I will find the product that you need. We have a certain amount of stock that we get every week. And if we run out, if people order a lot of whatever it is, we're not going to have it. And people just don't understand. Like we had a guy come in today who wanted a gift card. We didn't have any gift cards. I had to go tell him we didn't have any more gift cards, and he looked so upset at the fact that we didn't have gift cards. And I'm just like, sir, you can literally buy gift cards at grocery stores for the place that I work. Why are you coming here to buy? Like, I know it's probably convenient because you're probably like, oh, I'll stop and get a drink or like a sandwich or something, and I will buy a gift card while I'm here. Okay, but don't get all bent out of shape because it's like literally this and during like Christmas time is when people buy the most gift cards. Like clearly, because this guy was also looking for a gift card for this place. And it's not some magical store where I can just like go to the back and find what they want. I wish it was. I wish there was like a never ending back of the store that just provided me with what I needed. Make life easier. I haven't talked much about the drawing. I've been a little sidetracked because once I get on a roll of like talking about these things, I'm not going to stop. It's impossible. I think dark blue is what I'm going to go with for the ground because I'll do the blue or I don't know. Because I wanted to do the little like spots as this light blue, but then I used that light blue. I guess I could just go over all of it with that teal. Or like a green, maybe? I don't know. I feel like I've messed up the background a little bit. I've been a little distracted. I'm going to fix it real quick. Hold on. Not the concentrated silence. I'm trying to think of other instances. This place that I work at now, though, is significantly better from like some of the other places I've worked, specifically just because I've never had anything thrown at me at this place. So that's kind of nice. I have had customers throw things at me before. Um, super cool. Like that's exactly how you should treat other human beings. And it's not even like it wasn't even a stupid reason. Like it was a stupid reason why they threw it at me. It was not a stupid question that I asked her because I just asked what size drink she had because I had three drinks in front of me and only one of them was hers, and I just wanted to know because we're if you've worked in like fast food customer service, I feel like it's a given at this point that they're always like repeat one item to the customer of what they ordered. And all I was like, "Hey, you have this large drink." And she's like ignoring me on her phone and I'm like, do you have the large drink?" And she's like, "It only comes in large." And I'm like, "Okay, like it doesn't." I didn't say this, but I was like, it doesn't. I just needed to know. And like she looks at me and then she like starts giving me attitude and I was like, "Okay, it's fine. I just needed to know which drink was yours so that I could give you the right drink." And then she starts putting her hand in front of me and like pointing at me like, "Don't you talk to me like that." And I'm like, "I'm a grown ass person. Like don't talk to me like that." And so she she throwed she threw I was going to say she throws her drink, but it's not present tense. She threw her drink at me through the drive-through window, and then I shut the window on her, so like she was down a drink. Like good for you. Congratulations. I've also had like managers not stick up for me while customers are literally shouting at me through the drive-through. And then like I feel like they wonder why people don't want to work there. And it's like because you don't treat your employees like people. And you you literally let customers just degrade them constantly like they're not people. It's crazy why no one would want to work there where they're not treated like a person. Crazy that. I kind of like the purple better. And then I'll do dark purple for the floor. I figured it out. I've experimented. This is why I like doing it unedited because then you get like the mistakes. Like art's full of mistakes. Anybody who tells you different is a freaking liar. We're in dark purple for the floor. I have this feeling that my one shift leader that I was talking about before, I feel like she's going to watch this video and be like, there were so many things you could have talked about. Yeah. It's hard to do when put on the spot, though, and multitasking. She's probably sitting there like, but you could have talked about the coworkers. I could have, but I think I'm going to save that for like a separate video where it's just like why why your coworkers could make your jobs harder. why your job is harder with bad coworkers, because I feel like there's just like there's a whole big tangent I want to go on with that one. So I feel like saving it for a different video is probably the best way to handle that, because we're getting toward the end of this one. Not fully the end, but I think he's almost done. He's almost there. My little fish man. This was one of the ones that I wanted to do for like Halloween costumes, because he's just a little fish guy. Costume or not, you can determine that. That's up for interpretation. Um, yeah, let's do the blue for his eye. Then that makes the blue kind of travel, which makes your eye travel around the piece like it's supposed to. I know art things, I swear. I am truly a self-taught artist, though. Like, I did take art in school for many years, but I never, like, went to college for art. That should have been a shadow. I never went to college for art. I wanted to be an art teacher, but also meh. But also the place that I live is just like, I don't know. School settings are scary to me. Let's do the whites for the bubbles. Actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the dark blue, and we're gonna get the yellow. Because I've been trying this new technique with, excuse me, with bubbles. Oh, good. The tip of my marker has red on it. That's nice. They're like the blow pens, or like the children art things that were popular in the 90s, where you could just like take watercolor and like a sponge and just like, and then the color would also be the red and the yellow, and that would create orange. I say this as if I didn't have one of those. I did. I had one of them. Okay. Okay, okay. Oh, I forgot this little guy. He's just gonna be a guy, I guess. We're just gonna enter. There we go. Oh, that doesn't go there. Suffering. And I think, other than the little socks down here, that I'm just gonna give a little zhuzh to, and then I have to go over everything with my trusty dusty, my handy dandy fine liner, my trusty dusty fine liner, and of course the little toot cloud. Everybody needs a little toot cloud. Okay. So while that dries real quick, the conclusion is that fast food kind of really does suck. And if you want to hear more about it, I am definitely like, I have many stories to tell about audacious coworker, or not coworkers. Oh my god, customers. But I do want to talk about how coworkers can also impact that as well. So the next video is probably going to be coworkers. The video after that might be back to customers, or it might not. this is all just kind of winging it and pushing myself to um, follow through in wanting to make connection and do art stuff and kind of make a living off of doing art stuff because it's my passion, and my passion is not, in fact, to deal with customers in a customer service setting for the rest of my life. Though I will say I've met some of, on a brighter note, and for the end of the video, I will say that there have been some really great customers in my life that have really just like stood out and put a smile on my face like every day. And some of the ones that I truly miss seeing on a daily basis because I had to like leave the place or I got a better opportunity somewhere else. Whatever it may be, those sparkles are looking a bit rough, but we're just going to live with it. Um, but yeah, not all customers make the job awful. It's just some that are like you literally have to like take a step back and scratch your head and be like, "What the heck?" And sometimes I even am like, freshly hatched out of an egg. That's the only explanation for some of these people and how they think things work in the world. Especially when they come up and they're just like, "Can I have a large coffee?" Let's say, "Can I have a large coffee?" And you're just like, "Do you want anything in it?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like, "Oh, okay. I would really appreciate it if you said it instead of just thinking that I knew that you wanted stuff in your coffee. Be helpful." But yeah, that's my opinion on customer service working, specifically in fast food, because I haven't really done any other customer service besides fast food. And then I briefly worked at a warehouse for a little bit. And that was kind of interesting. I like the fact that I have that as like a in my artillery of things and places that I've worked. And just give this a little line. I don't know what these ones are because they're kind of like not on the floor. Maybe they're coming off of the wall. Who knows? All right. And last but not least, we're not going to, we'll outline the bubbles. I was going to say we're not going to outline the bubbles. We're going to outline a little bit. Just give it a little bit of an outline. If only I knew how to outline. I was going to say, last but not least, we are going to go back to the white and we are going to add those juicy highlights in his eyes and on his thighs. I'm going to fix that. Not all of them need outlines. I don't have outlines on all of them. That's just how that's going to be. Not all the and the one sparkle doesn't have an outline. The water can have. Okay. And just and can't help myself. When it comes to highlights, I just want everything to look highlighted. All right. Thank you for sticking with me for another wonderful little ACO Yap Sesh little art challenge that I have going on for myself. One little ACO per day keeps the depression away. But no, honestly, it's been really motivating and really awesome that I just get this kind of like feedback from wonderful individuals. So, thank you for sticking with me, and I will be seeing you later. Bye.